Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hatha Yoga. My name is Michelle Chua. So for today, let's begin. Just check in with the kind of energy level you have right now. If it's kind of low, I invite you to start in child's pose with your feet together, arms forward or back. If you're feeling pretty energetic already, I invite you to come into a forward fold with your feet a little wider than hips distance apart, making sure that your feet are parallel. And if you even want to start to open up your chest, we did have a request for that today. You can clasp your hands behind your lower back or grab a strap to make it more accessible and let your thumbs turn out so they're pointing to the outer sides of your body as you hold the strap as far apart as you need in order to be able to bow while reaching your arms forward away from your lower back. And now, however you're beginning, just take any shifting around, moving around that you might need to help settle in and make a conscious transition from whatever was happening, whatever you were attending to just before now, to landing right here in your practice. So that includes making silly sounds and sighs and fluttering the lips, shaking out the head if you're in a forward fold. If you're in child's pose, you might like some lateral extension of the spine, crawling your hands over to the right for a few breaths, and then to the left for a few breaths, maybe even wiggling the pelvis out, getting some movement into the lower back area. Whatever you may need, if you're not clasping your hands in the forward fold, you might even catch hold of opposite elbows and just let your head dangle. Maybe the spine sway a few times. And then do make some sounds. You are on mute, so make any sounds. You can om, you can just get some release that you might need. Unpack. It is Friday. Maybe you can stick out the tongue. Cool off a bit. And then if you are in a forward fold, bending your knees, bring your hands to just release down, and then start to roll your spine slowly upright so that you're lifting your head last. And if you're in child's pose, roll your spine upright as well. And let's all meet in a comfortable seat of your choice, whether you're in Virasana, where you sit on your calves like this, maybe put a block between your ankles, toes pointing back, or legs in front anyway. So throughout this week, we've been talking about dharana. That's the 6 of 8 limbs of yoga, and it means concentration. So when you sit down to meditate or you lie down for shavasana where you need to be still and quiet, do you ever feel tempted to check your phone? No judgment. Do you hear a beep and you just say to yourself, oh, I have to text them back right away, or I got to get that call, or your to-do list starts to scratch at you to itch, or you just, maybe you have children and whatever it is that you're sitting down to focus on, you get distracted and things outside of what you're choosing to focus on are just pulling your attention. Well, in an article written by Michelle Fondin from Chopra's website, he talks about the ego, which in Sanskrit is called ahankara, and how it can get in the way of our ability to focus by creating a sense of self-importance, to say things like, oh, I really have to text them back right away. And the ego is the master of distraction. Think of the ego as a 2-year-old child striving for attention. This ego will tell you stories like, I can't focus, my to-do list is too long, or the housework has to get done first. Thus is the deception of the ego. Dharana is about completely focusing on the present moment and what you are doing. So it's a choice to liberate yourself from these outer distractions. Remember that last week we talked about the 5th limb of yoga, and it's pratyahara, and that was also a choice to withdraw our senses from receiving certain stimuli around us. So this builds upon that, where we can be totally absorbed at whatever task that we're choosing to do, one thing at hand. And then in this article, it talks about 4 tools to practice dharana. One is mantra. So that's going to be part of our guided meditation today. And mantra, it means in Sanskrit a specific sound or vibration that helps you enter deeper levels of awareness. It literally translates as vehicle of the mind. And it's a vehicle that takes you into quieter, more peaceful levels of the mind, out of the classic monkey mind. You might have heard that before, like how our natural tendency of the mind is to jump into the past, jump into the future, and constantly, like monkeys jumping from one branch to another, there is our attention. So mantra, the practice of reciting a set of sounds, sometimes with no meaning. It doesn't have to be something in your native language that you completely understand. In fact, the fact that it can be in Sanskrit, and maybe that's not your native language, it can be this abstract tool in which you can zone into as you repeat it over and over again. Another tool for practicing concentration is a visual mantra. And that's where you might have seen mandalas and their circular symmetry, geometrical shapes, designs that repeat, has a pattern. And then you can sort of zone into that visual mantra. There's also visualizations. Visualization is a great tool for manifesting desires. You can visualize how you want your day to come out as you wake up in the morning, and keeping a vision board of what you would like to achieve or what you would like to bring to fruition can help realign your thoughts and actions as you see that more often. And then lastly, one way to help concentrate is to turn off your phone and other devices and set a timer. So let's say you really want to focus on this book. You really want to create a habit of reading this book 20 minutes a day. So I put my phone on silent and I set the timer for 20 minutes, and there I am, committed. So really just making these conscious choices to remove what obstacles might be in the path, and then set yourself into an environment that promotes being able to focus on one thing at a time. And then maybe connecting to your why. That's something I want to add. Really important. Why do I want to practice concentrating? Why do I want to focus on this? It's such an important muscle, especially in this society of so much stimulation coming at us. So with that, let's come into our breath. You may like to place your hand at the heart, your hand at the belly, or just hands on your lap, whatever helps you to connect to just paying attention to your breathing without having to change the way that you're breathing. So the breath, for some of us, can be an anchor to help steady your attention in the here and now, because it's always what's happening in the present. But for some of us, physical sensations can be an anchor, like feeling what you're sitting on, feeling the points of contact between your body and the surface below. And then for some of us, maybe as you set an intention for your practice, what it is that you want to cultivate within yourself or reinforce about yourself in this practice today, you might summarize that in a phrase or a simple word that can be your personal mantra, so that as we move throughout the physical practice, if you catch your mind attending to something outside of here and now, you can redirect it like that 2-year-old child, right? Back to the mantra, back to your why, back to your intention. Now let's invite a deeper inhale. Really find the top of that breath. Take your time and hold it there so you could sip in a little more, not forcefully. Still the body is relaxed. Maybe the chest is rising a little bit more, and then open the mouth and really draw the breath out. Go to the very bottom when there's no breath left to exhale, and then hold there for a few seconds. Keep sitting up tall, keep relaxing your shoulders. And then again, inhale a little slower, filling up all of your torso from bottom up, from front and back sides, left and right sides, even into the armpits. Pause at the top, see if you could sip in a little bit more, really expanding the four walls of your ribcage. And then taking your time just to slowly empty the breath to your lips, creating a soft whispering sound. All the way to empty, let the belly hollow gently towards your back. Keep lifting through the crown of your head, hold at the bottom. And then one more time, experiment at your own breath pace. See if you could stretch it out a little longer, both in and out. Holding at the top, holding at the bottom for a few seconds. And once you've completely emptied the breath and held, now let's begin to just breathe through the nose if that is feasible for you. So mouth is closed. And then bring your hands down to your abdomen. Let's focus on breathing into the belly now. So really feel your belly expand as you inhale. Exhaling through the nose, let your belly contract more prominently as you exhale, navel drawing into spine. Still sitting tall, inhale into the belly. Exhale through the nose, draw the belly in. We did have a request today to add some core strengthening. So let's begin with a breath work that helps to do that, and it's called Breath of Fire. It's short, quick breaths. Passive inhale through the nose, active exhale through the nose, in which the belly bounces inward towards the spine like this. All the while, the upper body, the neck, shoulders, and face are relaxed. Spine is tall, and really focusing on that movement of the abdomen, drawing in, bouncing in with each exhale. Sounds like you're blowing your nose. And you don't have to do it too quickly. Do it at the pace that you can be steady and consistent. And then we're going to practice that for 1 minute. I'm going to set the timer ready. Breath of fire, Kapalabhati Pranayama, begin. And if your eyes are closed, you might direct them towards the center of your forehead. That helps to focus too, just having your inner gaze at one spot. If you have high blood pressure, low blood pressure, and you start to get dizzy, stop and just take deep breaths, slow deep breaths. Finding your own rhythm. We've got 20 more seconds to go. Take a deep breath in, hold the breath in, think of lifting your pelvic floor, apply Mula Bandha, anal lock, Uddiyana Bandha, lower belly draws in and up, abdominal lock, maybe even chin drops towards the chest, Jalandhara, chin lock, all to activate energy once you release it. And then when you're ready to exhale, let it go, relax your arms, and just pause to observe the effects. Bringing your hands together at your heart. Let's take one chant of Om. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Breathe in deeply, close the lips. Softly narrow the back of your throat, creating a faint whisper as you exhale through your nose. Beginning Ujjayi Pranayama, slow, steady, balanced breath. And as you continue to listen to your own breath pace, let's come down to all fours, hands and knees. Separate your wrists to land right under your shoulders with your index fingers both pointing forward parallel to each other. Ground the base of your thumb and index fingers. Grip at the fingertips slightly. And then step your knees about 2 inches behind your hips, apart, hips width. Tuck your toes and lift your pelvis back into downward facing dog. Allow a few breaths to explore any kind of movement you may need here. You could warm up your hamstrings and calves by pedaling your feet slowly in place. You can even add swiveling your hips side to side to open up the sides of your waist. Maybe even shake and nod your head, loosen up your neck. Now feel your hands with that slight grip at the fingertips, like tiger paws. There's a little bit of a lift at the center of the palms, not a lot. Imagine that with your hands, you're pushing your mat down and forward, away from your feet. Use that to try to feel more length throughout your spine so that your back feels flat as you firm your belly in. Now let's open up across your shoulders by rotating your triceps or your outer upper arms to face the ground. Lifting your shoulder blades to plug into your back ribs. Let your head fall. Steady your gaze on one spot on the floor. Now can you lift your sitting bones even higher while pressing the fronts of your hip creases back? Let your heels become heavier and heavier, whether or not they touch the ground, doesn't matter. You could bend your knees any amount here. Most important is that feeling of a flat back. Let's take 3 more breaths. Now the body's still in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Imagine you're coming into cat pose where you contract the belly to round. On your next inhale, tuck your chin towards your chest, look towards your belly, and then contract your belly, roll forward to land in plank pose. And as you arrive in plank, elongate your spine again to that flat back and steady your gaze on the floor about 1 foot ahead of your hands. Stacking your wrists, elbows, and shoulders. Keep broadening your shoulder blades apart. Lift your navel towards your spine. Option to lower your knees for added support, or straighten your legs and actively press back to your inner heels. Feel your quadriceps enliven. 2 more breaths. Draw your chest forward, lengthen through all sides of your neck. With your exhale, contract your belly. Use that to toe your tailbone up and to draw your hips back, downward facing dog. Now let's move in and out again. Inhale, round forward into plank pose. Exhale, pause, draw your sternum forward, look down ahead, lift your lower belly. Inhale here, keep lengthening from crown to tailbone. Exhale, contract your belly, lift your tailbone, back to downward dog. This time 1 breath, 1 movement. Inhale, round forward into plank pose. Exhale, contract your belly, lift your hips, downward dog. Set your knees onto the ground, directly under your hips, wrists directly under your shoulders, look at the floor just ahead of your hands. Tucking your right toes behind you, press the heel back, lift the sides of your waist. Extend your left arm forward so that your left upper arm is alongside your ear as you draw the left shoulder blade back. Left palm faces your right wall. Now, if your balance feels pretty steady, as well as your breath, try lifting from the inseam of your right leg so the right foot rises, heel to the height of your hip, without dumping the belly closer to the ground. So keep lifting the lower belly. Draw your sternum forward, draw your shoulder blades down your back. Know that it's optional to add these things. You can always set your left hand back down, you can set your right toes back down, or you can tuck your left toes and explore straightening your left leg into full plank with this lift. Notice your breathing. Find 1 focal point for your eyes. Firm your outer hips towards your midline. Keep lifting the navel. 1 more breath. Get long from head to inner right heel. And then set your left hand down. Set both knees down. Spin your fingertips to turn out or to turn to face your knees. Inhale. Glide your chest forward into cow pose. Looking up, tailbone lifts. Exhale, contract your belly to dome your back into cat pose. Try 2 more at your own pace of Ujjayi breath. Then relax to neutral spine, parallel your index fingers facing forward, little tiger grip at the fingertips. Tuck your left toes on the floor, straighten your left leg, firm the heel back, engage your left quadricep with the sides of your waist. Extend your right arm forward, upper arm alongside your ear, palm facing left wall. Draw your right shoulder blade back so both sides of your neck are even. Look at the floor ahead, not collapsing your head. How's your breath? You might explore lifting from the inseam of your left leg. The left foot rises just to the height of your hip. Notice if the belly has become lax. Lift the lower belly. Draw the sternum forward. Smile and breathe with focus. Maybe you'd like to explore tucking your right toes, straightening your right leg so that you are in straight leg plank with this arm and leg lift. Notice your 2 hips and try to level them out by firming your outer hips towards your midline. Keep lifting navel to spine for 2 more breaths. Set your hands and knees to the ground and then lean back into your shins for a moment for a different stretch for your wrists, making fists out of your hands. Bring your fists together like you're giving yourself a fist bump. Good job. And then place the backs of your fists on the floor. Flare your elbows apart. And then slowly shift your weight forward to find the amount of wrist stretch you want to feel here. Now if your neck and jaw have become tense, you can softly shake your head no, or any organic movement of the neck. Maybe even make some silly faces to stretch your mouth and relax your jaw. Just a couple last breaths. Beautiful, and then set your arms forward for a moment. Straighten your arms like Frankenstein. Rotate your triceps towards the ground again. Find that broadening across the shoulder blades. And then place your elbows on the floor exactly shoulders width. Decide to have your palms face down, forearms parallel, or interlace your fingers if your mat is slippery. Root your outer wrists to the floor. Look towards the ground in front of your hands. Draw your chest forward, tuck your toes behind, and then press your heels back. Bring your feet to touch. Lift your navel towards your spine. Send your shoulder heads back. Think of length. The middle of your chest is lengthening towards your front wall. Tailbone is lengthening towards your inner heels. Breath is lengthening equal in and out. 3 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Steady focus with your eyes. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more deep breath. Exhale, slowly lower your knees to the floor, lower your pelvis, point your toes back, and palms face down in Sphinx pose. Draw your chest forward and peel your shoulder blades down your back. Again, any kind of movement that your neck might need. Turning the head side to side, looking behind you, looking up and down. Slow breath in. Even breath out. Choose your anchor for focus. Breath, personal mantra, visual. Now feel every toenail pressing into the mat so much that your knees are actually lifted. Your thighs, fronts of your thighs are engaged. Keep that action and reach your hands behind your lower back, either grabbing a strap to hold between them or interlacing your fingers, maybe the non-default thumb on top. And then inhale, coil your chest off the ground, look on the floor ahead. Keep breathing here, about 4 more breaths. Can you continue to peel your shoulder blades down your back, Lengthen the back of your neck. Feel even your toenails pressing into the ground. Legs are active here. Knees are lifted. And you draw your heart forward for the last inhalation, smiling your collarbones wider apart. Now keep the lift of your chest, keep the grounding of your toenails, and then plant your hands alongside your floating ribs. Either bend your elbows to hug your side ribs and come into cobra for a few breaths, or press the ground, lift your pelvis, and come into upward facing dog for a few breaths. Send the front of your shoulder bones back, draw your sternum forward of your wrists, and then keep lengthening your legs, tailbone towards heels. When you're ready, use an exhalation, contract your belly to toe your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Taking 3 slow breaths as you steady your body and your gaze. Keeping your feet hips width apart here to start. Turn out your left toes. Keep the left heel rooted into the floor. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bend your right knee towards your nose. Lift your belly, round forward, and step your right foot forward just inside of your right hand, so your feet are still about hips width apart. Now, bring your arms back alongside your hips. Peel your belly just an inch or 2 off of your right thigh, so you're hovering off your right leg. And as you do this, look ahead of your right foot, lengthen your neck, keep breathing. Degasana. And you scissor your right outer hip back and let your left outer hip rotate further forward. As you see your right knee bend directly over the ankle, feel your left outer heel rooted into the floor so that you're not collapsing into the inner arch of your left foot. Now begin to extend your arms forward, wrap the triceps down, lifting your chest, come all the way up. Warrior 1. Now from here, back stroke your right arm towards your rear wall. Open up the front of your right shoulder like I'm standing at the back of your mat, holding your hand. And I'm trying to pull your hand just gently, lovingly towards your rear wall. Reach your left arm forward. And can you extend through all of your fingertips, left arm, right arm in opposite directions, and use that widening extension across your arms to help bring the left outer hip more forward as you keep your back leg straight and your front knee bent. Notice if your torso begins to tilt towards the front of your mat. Can you redirect the tailbone downward? Lift your frontal hip bones and then stack from the bottom up each vertebra of your spine. Shoulder heads, release them down as you lift your crown. And then bring both arms overhead. Maybe the palms touch as long as your shoulders can stay relaxed. Fixate your eyes forward or above. Pass your thumbs for 3 more breaths. Vira Bhadrasana 1. Take a deep inhale. Exhale. Backstroke your hands to the floor into plank pose. Continue forward and down through chaturanga. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, draw the belly in to toe your hips into downward dog. Pause, still the body, still the gaze. 3 breaths. Now start with your feet hips width apart and turn out your right foot. Spin the right heel flat on the floor. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, bend your left knee towards your nose, contract, round forward, and step the left foot just inside of your left hand. Your feet about hips width. Bring your arms back by your sides, and then peel your belly about an inch or 2 off of your left thigh, looking past your left foot on the ground. Open your chest. Send your shoulder blades down, lift the navel towards your back. Palms are facing down. Degasana. Can you feel the strength of your legs here? Scissoring your left outer hip back, rotating your right outer hip forward. As your navel draws in, extend your arms forward, triceps rotate towards the ground. Inhale, rise up into Virabhadrasana 1. Feel your breath. Backstroke your left arm towards your rear wall. Hold my imaginary hand there. Use that to open up the front of your left shoulder and to help your left hip draw back. Reach your right arm towards your front wall and feel your entire wingspan through the reach of both hands, sending the right hip forward. As your right leg stays straight, your front knee bends right on top of the ankle. Now notice if your torso might be leaning towards the front of your mat. Then you draw your tailbone down like an anchor and float your frontal hip bones up. Imagine restacking from the bottom up each vertebra of your spine. Deep breaths. Reaching your arms overhead, maybe the palms touch. Shoulders stay relaxed. Find one focal point for your eyes for the next 3 breaths in Warrior 1. Deep inhale. Exhale, backstroke your hands to plank. Continue down as you breathe out through Chaturanga. Inhale to Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. Exhale, contract the belly to lift the hips back. Downward Dog for 3 to 5 deep breaths. Body still, gaze steady. Cultivating focus. So we can focus as we're still. We can focus as we're moving. Can you create a sense of inner stillness as we move one breath each posture? We've just dissected a large chunk of Sun Salutation B, so let's put it into the context of the full Sun Salutation. Bend your knees, look past your hands. Empty your breath, lift your pelvic floor as you walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat. Let your feet come together to touch. Then inhale, press your shins or the ground or blocks in front of your feet, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold in. Bend your knees, let your knees touch. Sink your hips, maybe graze the floor with your fingertips. Keep your hips that low, arms up, chair pose. This is the beginning of Sun Salutation B. We're moving one breath each posture. Classical version, take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Either float into Chaturanga or step through plank first. Use the exhale to lower back. Inhale to Cobra or Upward Dog. Exhale, toe your hips to Downward Dog. Spin the left heel down. Step the right foot inside of the right hand. Inhale, rise into Warrior 1 again. Exhale, backstroke your hands into plank. Continue through Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or Upward Dog. Exhale, toe your hips to Downward Dog. Spin the right heel down. Step the left foot inside left hand. Inhale, rise completely to Warrior 1. Exhale, backstroke your hands through plank. Lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or Upward Dog. Exhale, Downward Facing Dog. Body still, gaze steady. 3 breaths. Mantras, prayers like the rosary, different ways to steady focus through repetition. We might think of these Sun Salutations like a moving prayer, a moving mantra. Repeating the movements, one breath each posture, bend your knees, look forward. On empty breath, lift your pelvic floor, walk or float to the top. Feet touching. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees to touch. Inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana. Press to your feet. Exhale, rise, mountain pose. 2 more rounds, same sequence. Inhale, chair. Get into your zone. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise halfway. Step back or lightly jump to Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Spin the left heel down, right foot forward. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale through plank, down to Chaturanga. Cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing, spin the right heel down, step the left foot forward. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, plank through Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog, 3 breaths. Body still, gaze steady. Bend your knees, look forward. On empty breath, walk or lightly jump. Feet touch. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees to touch. Inhale, sit into chair, Utkatasana. Exhale, rise up. Last round. Go at your pace of breath. Don't feel rushed or don't feel slowed down. Bend your knees. Inhale, chair. I'm just cueing so you have reminders of what's next. Exhale, fold. Try your best to go at your pace of breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step or float, Chaturanga. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, downward dog. Spin the left heel down, right foot steps forward. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, plank, Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward. Exhale, downward. Right heel down, left foot forward. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, plank through Chaturanga. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, downward dog. 3 to 5 breaths, steady focus. Come back to your chosen anchor, mantra, gaze, breath. When you're ready, on empty breath, lightly land at the top of your mat. Feet touch. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees to touch. Inhale into chair pose. Take a few breaths and begin to lower your sitting bones to the ground into boat pose, Navasana. Lifting your feet off the floor, keep your feet together, knees bent or legs straight. Hands can hold the backs of your thighs or the floor, or extend the arms forward. Relax your shoulders down. Lift your pelvic floor. Think of restacking from the bottom up each vertebra of your spine. Chest lifted and open. Steady your attention on your anchor. Deep inhale. Exhale, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 3. Inhale. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower your feet to the floor, bend your knees, parallel your feet hips distance. Lift your chest, re-lengthen your spine, relax your shoulders, and then take a few breaths to very slowly lower onto your back. Feel your various core muscles from the front, back, sides of your torso hug towards your center line. So once you do lower, bend your right knee, lift your right knee to stack right over your right hip. Straighten your left leg forward, flex your feet, and then bring your hands behind your right thigh. You can interlace your fingers if that's possible there. If you can't reach your right thigh here, you can grab a strap and hold it between your hands so the strap is pressing against your right hamstring. Now draw your lower belly in, lift it slightly towards your rib cage. Inhale here. As you hold your right thigh, use that to exhale. Kick the right leg forward and lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Lift your left heel about 2 inches off the floor. Maybe you extend your arms forward to frame your right thigh. If your neck needs support, you can bring your hands to the back of your skull. Breathe in, breathe out. Steady breath, steady focus. Now let's cross the left arm to the right side of your right thigh. You could clasp your hands, accept your index fingers. You could bring the right hand behind your skull for neck support. You can even use that vitality mudra, pointing the index and middle fingers towards that upper right corner of your room as a thumb presses the pinky and ring finger towards the center of the palm. Inhale, spiral your chest to the right, exhale 3. Inhale, lift your shoulders off the ground, exhale 2. Inhale, and then relax, legs straight on the floor, arms overhead. Use your right hand, hold your left wrist overhead. Cross your left ankle over your right ankle. Crescent moon. Sweep your hands and your feet towards the right edge of your mat and lengthen the left side of your torso. Breathe into your left side of your ribs. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. One more breath into your left side body. And release, come back to center. Bend your left knee, stack it right on top of your left hip. Flex your 2 feet. Draw your navel towards your spine and up towards your rib cage. Bring your hands behind your left thigh, maybe a strap between the hands or clasping the hands. Kick your left leg forward, but pull it in with your hands. And lift your head and shoulders off the floor. Hover your right heel about 2 inches off the ground. Stay here or keep breathing. Extend your arms forward. Breathing's not optional. Or bring your hands to your head. Drawing your navel in and towards your heart. Inhale. Smooth exhale. A few more breaths here. Keep everything except bring your right arm outside of your left thigh. You could choose to interlace your fingers except your index. You could use your left hand to hold the back of your skull. And you feel a twist happening here, right across your waistline. You could use that vitality mudra of your index and middle fingers pointing towards the left upper corner of the room. Inhale. Exhale, spiral your torso. Inhale. Exhale, lift the shoulders. One more breath. Exhale, release everything. Straighten your legs on the floor, reach your arms overhead. This time use your left hand to catch hold of your right wrist. Cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Crescent moon to the left. Slide your feet and reach your hands towards the left edge of your mat, stretching the right side of your torso. Breathe into the right side of your ribcage. Slowing down and rebalancing the cadence of your breath for one more second. And then from here, catch hold of your bent knees and start to rock yourself forward and back several times. See if you can build some momentum where you might bring the legs overhead like plow, and you might step your feet on the floor in front and actually lift your pelvis off the ground when you rock forward. And perhaps You even land in a squat when you come forward. Take about 3 more, rocking and rolling forward and back. And we'll land in a squat of your choice, whether you want to take blocks and make a stool to sit on, separate the feet wider, or let your pelvis hover. But make sure as you're squatting that you're turning out from your hips, your thighs, so the middle of your knees are pointed out in the same degree as your middle toes. And add a twist here, so as I mirror you, crawl your right arm inside of your right leg, press it open and walk the hand out to its side. Use your left hand to press your inner left thigh open, and as your pelvis sinks down, breathe in and stretch your spine up out of your pelvis. Relax your shoulders and exhale, twist, turn your chest to the left. Inhale, lengthen your spine some more. Exhale, keep twisting. Option to raise your left arm like a wide wingspan and lean back. Option to wrap your left arm behind you, further opening the front of your left shoulder. You might hold on to the top of your right thigh with your left hand. You might use a strap and connect your 2 hands as your right arm wraps around your right shin. Or you might clasp your hands. Let's take 3 more breaths. And as you exhale, gently unwind back to center. Cross your left arm to nudge your inner left thigh open, landing that hand. Use your right palm. Press the inside of your right thigh. Sink your pelvis. Breathe in, lift your spine. Exhale, rotate your chest to face right. Inhale, lengthen through both ends of your spine. Exhale, keep twisting. Option to raise your right arm and create that wide wingspan as you open your chest and lean back. Option to wrap your right arm behind your back, maybe clasp the top of your left thigh. Option to use a strap between your hands and wrap the left arm around your left shin, or to clasp your hands. Let's take 3 more full breaths. As you exhale, unwind your spine and then bring your hands in front of you. So heel toe the inner edges of your feet together. Keep splaying open your thighs, but the inner edges of your feet touch and your heels lift. And then you can either crawl your arms forward, so it's a hybrid of a squat and child's pose, more of a resting position, or if you're feeling pretty energetic, play with coming into crow pose. Planting your hands 1 foot in front of your toes, shoulders width apart, rotating your triceps back like plank, and then hollowing your belly to lift your hips. Think of lifting your pelvic floor, engage Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha, and then bend your elbows back, keeping the arms parallel like Chaturanga Dandasana. By gazing a few feet ahead of your hands on the floor, you can rock your weight forward and place your knees up high onto your upper arms near your armpits, so that your upper arms act like elevators. So as you push down with your hands, you can lift up your hips, lift the navel. How's your breath? Whatever part of this or the latter posture, tune into how you're focusing. What's your anchor? It's the quality of your presence. It's one thing I like about balance challenging poses that really gets me to drop into what's here right now. Can't be distracted by my grocery list. See what happened? Option to shoot back into Chaturanga if you're in crow. Take a last vinyasa if you like. Option to meet us in child's pose. That's where we'll all regather. Feet together, knees together, apart. Anywhere you want to place your arms. In fact, if you'd like to give your triceps and shoulders a stretch, let's place the elbows forward on the floor, shoulders width apart. You could even place them on platforms like the lowest height of your blocks. Wrap your triceps towards the ground, press your fingertips into each other, and then trace your thumbs down the back of your skull, down the back of your neck, to whatever range is possible as you lower your head, letting your chest slightly sink towards the earth. Let your armpits slightly lift and hollow away from the ground as you draw your shoulder blades further down your back. Whatever variation of child's pose that you have chosen to practice, let your body be still, and let's enter a cooling breath practice. It's simple. We'll inhale for 6, we'll hold the breath in for 2, exhale for 8 through the mouth, and hold the breath out for 4. Empty this breath. Pause there. Inhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 2, 1. Exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, relax and let go of controlling your breath. Let's ease out of this by rolling the spine upright to sit. So I invite you to choose a relaxing way to lift your legs up higher than your heart, whether you're lying with your glutes against a wall and your legs leaning against the wall, or you're lying in your back and moving into shoulder stand or plow pose, if that's part of your usual practice, or coming into supported shoulder stand, in which you grab a block or two, lie on your back, bend your knees, feet on the floor, and then you lift your pelvis so that you can place the block or 2 blocks right under your sacrum, flat part of your lower back, and then from there, resting on the blocks, you lift the legs straight. So a cooling inversion, further calming your nervous system, helping the mind to slow down, laying more of the groundwork for a meditation practice. Just for about a minute here. Just remember that the physical postures, the asanas, are the third of the 8 limbs of yoga. These are all along the path into deeper states of unity consciousness, that deepest level of meditation, in which it's an effortless state of inner connection. So we use the breath work, we use the physical poses, we use the concentration practice, various tools along the path. We open up the body, we strengthen the body so that when we do sit to focus and meditate, the body is no longer a distraction to the mind. The body can be peaceful, and we can dive deeper into the practice of witnessing our mind. So please begin to lower your body. Take a gentle spinal twist of your choice. You can simply open your arms wide on the ground and then drop your bent knees to the left, or few breaths, and then drop them to the right for a few breaths, looking over the opposite shoulder than where your knees are pointing. And at your own rate, having finished your spinal twist on both sides, either draw your bent knees into your chest, give yourself a huge, genuine hug, or come into happy baby pose. Take a deep inhale, open your mouth wide, stick out your tongue, open your eyes wide, lion's breath. 2 more times on your own. Cooling, releasing, clearing breath out to your mouth. And then, lovingly to yourself, place your body in a position where it can completely be still, removing any obstacles in the path to being present, having an intimate meeting with your inner self, your inner being. Using any props that you may need so that your body can ease into stillness. And then once there, closing your eyes and making a commitment to be present here with yourself. In Shavasana, the sweet surrender of corpse pose. Lying still in your Shavasana just a minute longer. Remember that dharana is being absorbed in one thing for an extended period of time. It's a deep meeting of intimacy with your object of focus. So let's bring integrity and full commitment to our dharana practice for the next 10 minutes. Honoring the journey or practice itself to be our destination. Nowhere else to go, but right here, right now. If you'd like to join me for our guided meditation, please begin to ease your body out of Shavasana. Simple stretch or gentle movements. Maybe even keeping your eyes closed as you turn to one side. Press the ground away and find your comfortable seated position. Feel the alignment of your spine, welcoming easy breath, easy focus. Eyes can be closed or fixated gently on one spot in front of you. Now allow a moment here to physically ground yourself where you are. Literally feel what's underneath your body that you're grounding into. Feel the easy, steady come and go of your breath, grounding you. In today's meditation, we'll use a mantra to repeat mentally. Remember that a mantra is a specific sound or vibration, which, when repeated silently, is used to hold the mind still and help detach from the classic monkey mind. This mantra is in Sanskrit, and its underlying affirmation means, I rest with comfort and ease in the present moment. I've chosen this mantra to cultivate trust that you are exactly where you need to be right now, and to enjoy the brilliance of this dynamic moment as you commit to stay alert to what's here now. So the mantra is Om Krim. Om Krim. It opens awareness to the eternal present in every changing moment. Om Krim. Om Krim. With each new breath, let your body relax deeper into the present. In your mind, to the natural rhythm of your breath, mentally repeat the mantra, Om Krim. Om Krim. When our meditation is done, you'll hear the sound of the singing bowl. So at your own natural flow of breath, repeat the mantra, especially when you notice your attention wanders somewhere else. Let the mantra bring you back to focus. Om Krim. Om Krim. allow a deep inhale to rise up to your chest, lifting your heart space. Exhaling through your mouth, join your palms to meet your heart center, bowing into place. So with your core values, with the beings and events and things that are most important to you in your heart, how do you commit your deep presence? How might you use the tools of cultivating dharana, concentration, in little bits and pieces of your daily life? Let's close with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath. Thank you for sharing your practice. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.